Welcome to the Kenyon Sports Connection and a preview of the 2013 Lords soccer season. Joining me today is ninth-year head coach Chris Brown, who's going to guide us through the preview and give us a glimpse of what to expect in the next few months. Chris, before we get into breaking down your roster, let's talk about your coaching staff. You have a new addition in full-time assistant Darren Moore. Can you talk about Coach Moore, his background, and what he brings to the program?
Yeah, we're able to add Darren onto the staff, which was a big plus for us. Andy Brinkman hopefully will still be involved, and Eddie Wheeler too. But with Andy doing a little bit more, Andy Brinkman doing a little bit more with the crew, we had an opportunity to add Darren to the staff. Darren's ex-D1 player, played up top at the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, was a all-conference level player. So I think he's going to add a lot in terms of giving the guys some ideas, some insight to how to improve their play at the top, up the top. And also he's he's an avid recruiter, so I think he's going to add something off the field too. So
you talk about off the field. What about on the field? Does he bring any kind of changes to your program? Will we see a different style of play? Your team has been pretty much known for solid defense the last few years. Is that going to change, or is that going to be your team's strength once again?
I hope it's going to be the strength. We were highly rated last season, and we'd like to continue that, because if you don't concede goals, you can't lose games. It's very hard to. So what we want to do is build on that though, and add something going forward. Our play in the final third isn't good enough. We were second from the bottom in the conference in terms of scoring goals last year, and the year before we were dead last. So and finished in the top four in both years. So if we can increase our offensive output, then I think we'll really benefit and can challenge for the conference.
Can you go ahead and expand a little bit on the defense? It's a unit that almost returned virtually intact. Who are going to be your key players back there?
Well, we have a lot of depth. So, outside we've got Cameron Scott and Grant play a lot at the outside back positions, but we've got people pushing them on our roster. We may in this season play some of the midfielders back there, I think, because we're going to really push the outside backs on. At the middle of the back, we've got Lewis Williams-Gray come back for his seat last year. Sammy Justice is going to be a junior. Logan Ernst and Ben Alexander are going to be juniors too, and we've got two good freshmen here too. Keith Adler from Alabama and Gabe Freund has done very well in pre-season so far. So we got a lot of depth, and I think all of those guys can contribute.
Let's slide up to the midfield, and arguably the best player in your team, and senior Andrew Parmalee, a three-time All-NCAC player. And really the heart and soul of the team. What's expected out of Andrew this year, and what does he mean to the team and the program?
He's big time. He's first team all conference level player. He was the newcomer of the year in the conference 2010 on a team that was loaded with seniors. And you're right, you summed it up perfectly. He's the heart and soul of the team. So we'd like him to continue that. If he could score a few more goals, that would be really handy. But I think when he's on the field, our job is to keep him healthy, keep him out on the field as much as we can, because when he's on the field, we dominate most of the teams we play against. And what we need to do is have guys contributing around him. That's going to be the key thing, because we know that he's going to turn up and play his game, every time. So I think we've got some returning midfielders that can come in and add some goals from the midfield. Nate Petru, who may play wide, but also in the middle too. Ray Minasuma can do that too. And he may play wide, but also in the middle too. I think Jeremiah Barnes is someone who can contribute goals for us. We feel like we've got some freshmen that potentially could be helping us from the midfield. So Josh Lee from Washington State, Tony Amulu from Nigeria. These are guys that could play in the sort of attacking midfielder spots. But a key ingredient will be up top, and how all those guys play for us.
Okay. Similar situation on the other side of the field. You graduated your starting goalkeeper. You've got 4 guys on the roster now. How is that going to shake out for you? Is it too early to tell?
It's too early to tell on that one. We've got 2 juniors and 2 freshmen. I think there's probably going to be 3 out of 4 competing for that starting spot. But we feel that in some ways they're going to have a year to develop because they're not going to have a ton of work to do. It's a position that we feel we need to bring in probably one more goalkeeper for 2014, but I think we're going to be fine this year.
Just the simple fact that you have 4 goalkeepers on the roster shows the depth that you have this year across the board. Can you touch on how that depth is an advantage to you this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 elements to that. One, I think we've got a core group that are going to probably get the bulk of the time. We're hoping that up top some of the freshmen can break into that group. We've got Alex Christoph coming back and Alistair Flynn, but we're hoping Jordan Glassman and Aaron Sam can break in. Tony Amunu may play up top too. So we've got a core group that's going to play a lot of the minutes, but we feel like we've got some depth in terms of younger guys that can learn and develop as players and come and really contribute maybe a little bit more in the future. And it's key to have those guys in depth and have people that can come and step in and play down the road. And you can't just build for a team for now. You've got to build for the future too, and that's what that depth is going to give us.
Again, we understand it's still early in the preseason and you're sorting things out. You've taken 3 of your last 4 teams to the NCAC tournament. Is that kind of an expectation for every year? Is that an expectation for this year? Where do you stand on that right now?
Our goal is to finish top 4. So we finished top 4 since 2007, and the one year where we didn't go to the NCAA's, NCAC tournament was the year that we lost out on goal differentials, and top 4 for us is the minimum in the conference. We'd like to get to the point where we can challenge year in year out to be in the top 2. It's a tough league to win. It's probably 3rd or 4th best soccer conference in the country, so it's tough to win, but we'd certainly like to be finishing or competing to be in the top 2 every single year. So top 4 is a baseline expectation or goal, and then anything above that is kind of what we're shooting for.
All right, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me.
Sure.
Best of luck this season.